the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for being here. Um, Maybe we'll do a little bit of chatting first and just see how everybody feels. I just want to say a couple of things first. First of all, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. Um, and remember, this is about Lilly&Jack Sullivan, who went missing on May 2nd of this year. Last seen, as per RCMP, May 1st. Um, and they have yet to be located. Um, and there was a reward out of $150,000 as per the government. I will put the banner up. Here we go. And yeah, so we want to keep this case alive, as you can see up in the left-hand corner there. And we want to keep talking about this, and hopefully, there will be some answers. I personally think the RCMP, or I was skeptical at first, but I do now feel much better about it, and I do feel they're gonna be able to crack this case. I really do. So if anybody wants to put their thoughts or feelings in the chat, go ahead, and I'll read down through some of them, and then we'll get to the topic of Janie MacKenzie. But I just want everyone to remember to please be mindful of IMO, which is in my opinion. So just be mindful of that, and that everything that I'm saying is only speculation and IMO. None of us have the answers to what actually took place here. We're just seeking the answers and truth for Lily and Jack, and in support of Belynda. Belynda Gray, their grandmother, and the rest of the family members as well. But we do know that there were 3 people on that property that day, possibly 4, but I guess they're saying now that Justin wasn't on the property, which is Daniel's brother. So we know of 3 for a fact. And we've been looking at 2 of those as a suspect, with quite an outrageous story about Malaya, which I can say we can just sweep that under the carpet now. I made my opinion quite clear on that I just don't believe that. And I just don't even want to put any of what Darewood said into any of this. Of course, we know Daniel said it too, as I had shown in my last few videos. And but we also know there's a 3rd person that was on that property that also could very well be would have to be considered a suspect as well, right? And eventually, perhaps, we'll hopefully know whether she is actually a witness or a suspect. So, yeah. So, like I said, it wasn't just Malaya and Daniel on that property, right? There was 3 people. So let's just consider the possibility and speculate that, that 3rd person, which is Janie MacKenzie. So let's take a closer look at that. And yeah, and again, it's all speculation and IMO. So I'll go down through your comments. We'll do the quick hellos. Hello to everyone that is here, whether you comment or not, that's fine. You don't have to. So hi, Lisa. Thanks for being here. You were here. I don't know if you got back, and I am sorry about having to change the time. That had to do with my order that I had ordered from Walmart, and they were going to be here at a certain time, and then it they didn't end up here, so I had to push this out till 3:30, so I apologize. Polar Vortex, if you're still here, thank you for being here. So Lisa says accomplice. Polar Vortex says for sure, at least accomplice. Hi, Mark. 11:11 to you too. Good vibes. Hi, Nova and mods in chat. Well, I don't have any mods yet. And I certainly wouldn't mind making you and Ginger a mod, and Kimmer as well if she wanted, but I have no idea how to do it yet. So I'll figure that one out. And that's up to you guys too as well. Hi, Ginger. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for being here. Happy Sunday from Ontario. Kimmer, thanks for being back. I noticed you were away, but I still said hi to you a couple of times or talked about you just to acknowledge. I thought you might have been hiding here, but hiding. Well, thanks for being here. Yeah, so you're a little bit behind. So I was going to ask, does anybody want me to play the video game? Well, actually, I am going to play that video game because as I go through it, I'm going to stop and just kind of comment on some things I notice, and you guys can comment as well. And again, remember, in my opinion. Hi, Valerie. Thanks for being here. Blair, thank you for being here. North Sydney. Hi, chatters. Blue Rose, hi. Thank you for being here and coming back. Hi, everyone listening from Ohio. Step family of lies. Absolutely, Lisa. Yeah. And for anyone who hasn't watched, not the last video I put out because that's just Janie's interview, which we're going to play again here today, but the video before that, it's I think it's called The Receipts to Prove the Lies or something. It has receipts in the title, but it would be the second last video prior to this. And if you want to watch that shows, I like the word untruthful a little better. When you use the word lies, it sounds kind of childish, but we're dealing with adults that are kind of acting like children, unfortunately. But so yeah, I totally agree with you there. Mike, hi Mike, thanks for being back. I can't help thinking that the children suffered hypothermia that early morning. Yeah, because it was cold. I know, I heard some people say that didn't go below 0, but it actually did because my husband checks the temperature constantly. He's one of those people who are obsessed with the weather, but he is a truck driver too, so he really likes to be up on the temperatures and what he's going to be dealing with throughout the day. And he had checked it when he had woke up, or whenever he was checking the temperatures anyways, and it did reach slightly below 0. So yeah. Oh, I think I missed one there. Oh, push me down to the bottom. I'll come back up. Mike, or is that where I was at? I was at Mike, I think. Mark, Blair. Okay, there we go. Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Sharon, you're another one I wouldn't mind making a mod as well, if any of you guys are interested, but I don't know how to do it. But I'll figure it out. But if you are not interested, I know you guys mod other rooms too. Just let me know, because I understand that. I used to mod rooms too. Step family of lies. Yep. Step family of lies. Lisa, you're really pushing that point. Either that or you're a bot. I don't know. Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. Valerie, this case is really a sad situation regarding Jack and Lily. It is. It is. It's very sad. And it's very sad that people just can't be honest and tell the truth. That is extremely bizarre in the case of 2 missing children. That's heartbreaking. Krista, hi Krista, aka Lady O, thanks for being here. And Krista agrees. Law's family. Hi, Law's family. Thanks for being here. Hi, Nova. Hi, Crystal. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being back. And same to you, Law's family. Thanks for coming back. Chi or Chai, Mom. Hello. Hi. Thank you for being here. CBC. Hi. Yeah. Ginger says, if the CBCs wouldn't put it out there, then I am not. Yeah. Yeah, and that's fine. And you mean about Janie being a suspect. Well, and I hear you. I guess in my mind, I think anybody that was on that property that morning, RCMP would have to consider a suspect. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, it would be probably not good if you were only looking at Malaya and Daniel as a suspect. But yeah, I hear you. Renee, it's my opinion that Malaya was preyed on the whole relationship. I agree. Why does Daniel already have a new girlfriend? If that's true, who knows? And she has kids. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess we don't even know if that's really true, but if it is, I mean, yikes. Like, wow. Kimmer, I'm praying they have enough hard evidence soon to make an arrest. I know, me too. And I just have this feeling that, like, I feel like they're kind of amping it up a little. Like some of the stuff that was said in their interview that, like, I know some people were saying, that's not anything we didn't already know, but there were some things I pulled out of it that they were saying that I was kind of like, oh, okay, that's interesting. And I found it very interesting that they made a point to come out with their interview. Was it the day before or 2 days before? Uh, Before Janie's and Darewood. Well, if you want to call Darewood's an interview, but Janie's. Yeah. Step family laws. Yep. Kimmer, yes, I should have told you I would be away. Oh, you don't have to tell me anything. But I figured that you might be away or you were just hiding in the bushes. Chi Mom, sorry if I'm saying it wrong. Renee, it sure does seem like she was isolated and not able to see friends after moving there. Yeah. Appears like it was a controlling relationship. Yeah. And I like how you're saying it appears. Yeah, because we can never be 100%, but there's certainly things you can pick up on and go, and your alarm bell goes off, right? And in this situation, the alarm bells keep going off and off and off. And I mean, as a nurse, I've been trained to look for certain things too, right? And I mean, if I had all this information, this would certainly be somebody that I would, want to have that conversation with. Uh, Law's family, I can. Renee, did I miss your comment? Renee, it's in my opinion that yeah. Law's family, I can imagine why they didn't air more than 30 seconds of Darren's interview, in my opinion. I agree, definitely. I mean, I've already said my piece on him a few videos back. It has a thumbnail with It's a Crime and Shame and him on the front, and then Dolly Vision and excuse me, and Daniel, because they both were on each of those shows. And I've given my thoughts on him just from being from the area and knowing the mentality and knowing who certain people are. And I just thought the whole thing was disgusting, and how he talks and how he talks to women and how he looks down upon certain groups, which to me is big. It's the definition of bigotry, actually. So yeah, definitely. Mark says hi, Sharon. And the only reason why I think they did play that one small little clip is for media type purposes, if they're going to come back and do a story about the RCMP, if this goes unsolved and then people are up in arms about it, or they excuse me, I am sorry, guys. I think it's the air up in the room and the heat. They come back to do a story on that. You think of Dylan Eeler and how they've circled back around and did stories with the family and the father, about how they feel about how the case was handled. So if CBC circles back around to do anything like that, they kind of put that little blurb out there, because just before they played his blurb, they had said that Janie was feeling the same. Janie was feeling like that, and then said, and she's not the only one. Darren Getty's blah, 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 blah. And then they showed his little blurb. So I think that's the only reason why they showed that, in case they're going to ever circle back around and do another story like that on the RCM regarding the RCMP's handling of the case, which I don't think there's a story there, but Sharon lurking while working. Renee, I think it's possible Malaya knows more than she realized. Now that she is away, her perspective might change. I feel that too, Renee. That may make her come to realization she might not have if she had stayed. And I agree. That's been my thoughts for quite some time. Yeah. I've had those thoughts pretty much right from the time Daniel started doing what he did with the laws and all that. As soon as my eyes were open to him and I saw what he was like, I was like, okay, in my opinion, I see what's going on here. In my opinion, Malaya was paying rent for the home, giving Janie her income. Possible, yeah. And was wanting to leave long ago and was stopped. And here's the thing. She had just started reaching out to people again who she had been disconnected from. Belynda, for one, who, spoke of that she had contacted her in March. Malaya had just purchased a car, I guess around end of April, early March. And that, to me, when I hear that, I think of income tax time, because here in Canada, it's till the end of April we have to have our income tax done. And typically when you can claim a child, you have very low income, you usually have money that comes back. And in my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, I wonder if she received a check back and it would have went right into her account, so she would have had access to it. And if she had planned, like, okay, I'm going to use this money to get a vehicle, so now I'll have a vehicle. I'm starting to reach out to people. So just a thought that entered my mind. And it's an IMO, but just being from here and knowing that, it's the end of April, and lots of times when moms receive those checks and have claimed a child, and you're lower income, that's usually, it's not uncommon. Cute Ginger. Carolyn, I would definitely mod for you. Okay, thanks, Carolyn. When I figure it out, I'll I'll put some mods together here. Kimmer, I have no problem modding for you. Thanks, Kimmer. Valerie says, very bizarre. I said that from day one, in my opinion. Yeah. Mark says, for sure, and that would be about modding. Ginger, I was talking about Darren's theory. Oh, yeah. Yes. When the CBC comment. Yes, absolutely. Can you imagine, guys? Oh, Ginger, just think. Oh my goodness. And they'd have to sit there for hours And somebody said, I think it was Daniel, whether it's true or not, because you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, that there was hours of footage there. Um, Goodness, and even the way the reporter is when we play Janie's, take note of it, 'cause she's almost kinda, I don't wanna use the word afraid, but when you have somebody in front of you as anxious as Janie is and full of, adrenaline like that, like, sh even, like, nervous, I guess, would be the word, you can tell, the reporter almost seems a little nervous, in my opinion. Valerie, they are all sus till they rule out one. Yeah, exactly. Until they rule one out, exactly. Um, the Canadian cat lady. I imagine there's a few of those in Canada, or probably more than a few. I think Janie's one. I guess she has more than one cat. You could hear the cats meowing in her the telephone or the text to mess voice to text. It sounded like there was cats in the background meowing. Hello, everyone in chat, and thank you for being here, cat lady. Renee, they may not have aired it, but I bet our CMP watched everything 100%. Guys, give me 1 second. I gotta grab a drink to clear my throat. There we go. Maybe that'll help. I find sometimes when my husband's not here and I haven't talked throughout the day yet, and then I come up to do a live, it's like my voice isn't ready for all this talking yet. Um, Norbeaster, my eyes are hard on Daniel. I think he's an abuser. It wouldn't surprise me if she kept them hidden. CPS is garbage and always gives kids back. There's definitely problems in that system, isn't there? You know, this is not the first time that we've heard that CPS has been involved in a situation where something then happens with the kids or the child, right? It's not the first time. And like, if you've listened to any of my videos before, I talk about one of the reasons why I chose to do this. And it's because I feel we need to look at how we can do better. What do we need to change? Um, and bringing a light to that as well, besides the, stories themselves, because they all have the same, um, similar story. And I hate, not story, but you know what I'm saying. All these cases have the same things that align. Yeah. When you think of Sebastian Rogers, the little fella that they just found under the bridge in the US, he was autistic. That it's just so many similarities. Yeah, either they are hidden from abuse or gone because of it. Yeah, yeah. Lost family. That's why I'm here. I know what kind of man he is. Yeah. Yeah. So do you know, because of you're picking up on all those signals and those red flags, not because you know him. Um, I'm assuming that's what you mean, because I have been saying how, that your bell goes off, and then and then it keeps going off and going off and going off, because the more you learn, right? Yeah. Carolyn, I'm wondering if Daniel has said a word on any chat since Belynda spoke about Jack's bruises. Well, he sure shut down after she said that, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Um, and for any of you guys that don't know, um, if you didn't see that on It's a Crime and Shame, Belynda was on there, and she spoke of some information regarding bruises on Jack. If you want to go there to see that, I'll give you the timestamp. I have it here. Go to 1:05, so 1 hour 5 minute mark in that video, and you will hear Belynda talk about that. So just to go over a few things, I did pull out of that alive. So Belynda had stated that Janie told her on the phone, because they had a phone conversation, that she was filling potholes. Okay. She did not say anything about a pool. And as soon as I heard that about the pool, I actually said it in my live that I did that. I do not believe that about a pool at all. I just thought that was just no, no. um, and we'll talk about that more when we get into the video. And that she did state to the RCMP officer, you have no business going in there, meaning her RV, to do a check, which, and again, that's why I say all three are suspect. Now, obviously, they have to go in there to rule things out because everybody on that property is a suspect. Everything is suspect, right? It has to be ruled out. And that Janie, that Janie had stated, you have no business going in there. They're not in there. Like, the kids are not in there, and then went on about her dog. But Janie will tell a different story. And I wholeheartedly 100% believe Belynda. I truly do. That woman is not, to me, in my opinion, one bit of a liar. Now, do we all make mistakes and maybe misunderstand something or hear something wrong? All of us have done that and can do that. But these are outright particular statements, right? That Belynda knows what she heard. Now, the dog that Belynda heard that day, she's sure it's not the same dog, because that dog is, pretty meek and mild by the looks of him. Not that he probably doesn't bark, but he didn't have that type of bark. And it was a bigger dog in the window that they had seen. But my understanding is that somebody else in the family has a bigger dog. And, if that is the case, in my opinion, I'm wondering, well, if that big dog was there, why was it there? Why? What is the need for that dog to be on the property on a day that there's going to be police and other people all over the property searching for the children? And why would it have to be put in that mini home knowing that the police are going to have to check it? Like, it just all seems, I'm sure it's nothing that RCMP, any law enforcement hasn't had to deal with before, the scare tactics. But in my opinion, that could be a possibility of why that dog was put in there, was for the intent to say, well, to kind of, as a threat. Yeah. And she had said to Belynda, Janie, on this conversation, or it might have been the conversation. Some of this is conversation on phone, and some of it was on the private chats because Belynda was in those listening. That it clicked. Janie stated it clicked for her about Malaya hiding the kids after talking to Darren, which that does not make sense at all, because that's, if you've been following this whole thing, that just does not make sense. And I mean, Janie's the one on the property. Janie should be the one that knows. Nothing should have to click because somebody who was never there, not involved in any of this, is saying stuff to you. You just tell the truth. You tell the truth of what happened. The phone, so she was given different stories. Belynda states she was given different stories about the phone. She was told that you have to go out to the end of the driveway to use the phone, to get the, for best service. And now that story has changed that, well, no, they have Starlink, so you don't have to. We do know that it was stated on the radio, in fact, that Malaya had to go somewhere else to get service so that she could send them pictures that they needed. So she was probably trying to send them through text, I would assume. So that's confirmed right on the radio. So that's, and I do not believe Malaya is lying. Like, what mother's going to lie about how she's going to send pics and pretend it's going to take longer because she has to go find a place to get service? That's just foolish. Belynda states she saw pics of Jack with bruises. And these were sourced from certain media who states they found them, and didn't say anybody gave them to them or showed them or anything like that. He just said that they found them. And it was the school who reported to CPS, as they have to. So school had pics of, the school had the pics that media obtained. So also to note that Daniel was in the chat during all of this, and Daniel had made a nasty comment. Now you have to keep in mind, this is the grandmother of these missing babies, Lily and Jack, okay? Now he states to her while she's talking about the children and saying, I want to know what happened to them. Were they hurt? Did somebody on that property hurt them? This was before she stated that Jack was noted to have bruises in pictures. It was before she stated that, because I went back and looked at it this morning. And then Daniel states, her life was good with Cody, wasn't it? Like, being nasty. Because she was saying, she wished she had known that what was going on there and that things were not good and she could have did more and stuff like that. And, you can listen to it. I'll tell you the timestamp where that all starts in It's a Criming Shame, as well as at 45 minutes. I mean, listen to the whole video, of course, but just to give you the timestamps, there's 45 minutes where Belynda actually starts talking. It's after they play Janie's video that we're going to look at today. He didn't deny it, but one thing he didn't do. So after the comment was made about the pictures with the bruises, he never commented anymore after that. He was done. But he didn't deny that he did anything. He never denied that, I didn't lay any bruises on Jack. That was from whatever. And we don't know where they came from, okay? I'm not alleging that they came from Daniel. We honestly have no idea. That's for the police to investigate and figure that out. And I'm sure they're talking to Malaya about it. And the school and whoever they have to. But he didn't deny that. He didn't say, I would never do that. I was always gentle with them. Like, we already know that there was the discipline issue and that Malaya did not like it. And, a step parent should always respect that and follow that. The true parent, their way of discipline. So he didn't deny it. He stayed at the officer saying to Janie, he stated, when Belynda stated that the officer had stated they would have to get a warrant because she didn't want them going in the trailer, he stated that's not true, that they never stated that. So in other words, he's calling Belynda a liar, which I do not believe that at all. So I just wanted to go over those points. And like I said, you guys can go to that for sure to read that. So there's a lot of comments there. I'm probably not going to be able to read all of them, but I enjoy that you guys are log into YouTube Studio, click settings, then click on community. You will see a moderator box option, type in name you wish to mod, and their name will pop up, and then click save. Oh, okay, I'm going to take a picture of what you just said there right now so I can do that later. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to keep up with all of them, but we'll go to the video and then we'll come back to comments again. And that's great. I'm glad you guys. Nor Beaster, I don't know if I said thank you for being here because you're a new name to me in here. So thank you. Lori McNutt. I don't know if you were in here before or not. The McNutt name, I have relatives with that last name, so it's already familiar to me. So I can't remember if I saw it in here or if I saw just thinking of my cousins. And Joyce, thank you for being here. Yes. I Norbeaster. I haven't seen your name before in here. Okay, so let's go to this video because some folks didn't hear it yet. Some people are, oh, I better take that comment off there. I got to go way back now. Some people have been on vacation. They're not up to date on, and there's been so much that took place over the last while. So we will play this, and I am going to stop at parts when I want to speak about it, and you guys certainly chat amongst each other about what you feel about it, and I'll come back to some comments. Yeah, good catch about not denying the bruises. Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, if somebody was saying that about me, I would be like, I swear I would never do that. Like, yeah. So let's play this. And like I said, I'm gonna do some chatting. Store. All right.
So this is the patio.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
So it's the morning of May 2nd. Take me through what happened.
Okay, I was up at 6 o'clock, sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock, I get up, come over here, fed my chickens. My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said, no. I said, I'm staying home. I said, I'm going back to bed. Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know, my dog started barking and the kids were out in the yard. Now, you can see there's 2 swings where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. This is where the kids' swings are. This is where they always played.
Okay, so past tense. And somebody else had pointed that out to me when I had listened to it that morning. I was just kind of taking it all in. And then somebody had sent me or said in the comments when I was reading the comments, she's talking in past tense. So there's a past tense there.
And so that's where
I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer. If two kids get out of a fence and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie.
Okay, now this one is a big one for me because none of what she just said there makes sense to me. First of all, the kids are not going to sound any different behind the gate or on the other side of the gate or fence, because I don't even know if that gate was there then. That I think that's all new now, and I don't know what that contraption is behind her. I was trying to figure that out when I watched it the first time, but that just does not make sense to me. So whether they're on the side of the fence or on the other side of the fence, it's not like they're, you know, that far away. It's going to sound the same. And she's saying, now if they were on this side of the fence or, they got through here, I would have heard her saying, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie. Well, you would have heard it on the other side of the fence as well. And just before she said it, now let me go back a little bit, because she said, that's all I ever hear out here. That's all. So it's not like it's something they say when they get on the other side of the gate or the fence. She hears that all the time. And when they're playing in the backyard. So it just, none of that makes any sense. It's just gobbledygook. It does not make sense.
When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, all I hear out here. Especially Lily, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here.
Okay, so you hear what she's saying? That's all I hear out here. So that's when they're out playing in the backyard. That's all she hears, right? But now she's going from that to saying that if they get on the other side of the gate, I would have heard her saying, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie. Like, it just, none of it makes any sense. Like, am I wrong? Like, that just does not make sense. Because nothing's different. You're just still going to hear Lily saying, come on, Jackie, come on, Jackie. It doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah.
When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling, come on, Jackie, let's go, Jackie, let's go.
But you just said that you hear them do that all the time when they're on the other side of the fence. So that just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion.
Oh, I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard is I heard Daniel yelling. He was yelling for Jack and Lily. I didn't get up because I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lily in the house. So the next thing you know, I came out of the trailer after.
And that's another thing that's concerning, because oh my God, am I frozen? Can you guys hear me? You can't, can you? Oh no, there, your comments are coming up. I didn't think you could hear me. So there's another thing to me that does not make sense in my opinion, because when you're um like, we already know that there's discipline issues, how Malaya feels about the discipline issues with Daniel there and the kids. We already know that with the children. And but now she's saying she thought that he was yelling at the kids to come back in the house. Well, so she must be used to him using a certain type of tone, because if kids are missing and you're coming outside, you're kind of panicky and you're yelling as loud as you can so they can hear you. So I find that concerning. Um, yeah. And again, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
I heard Daniel about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him. I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing right here with Meadow on her hip. And I come out and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lily are missing." I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I closed the door.
So I just want to point out that early prior to this interview, it was stated, well, actually, that was by Darren, and we're not going to pay any attention to anything he said, because what he said, Janie had said that she said to Malaya, "What's wrong?" Or "What did you do? What did you do?" is what he said. But we're not going to. I forgot. I don't pay any attention
Got my
to
boots
that.
on, came out here, ran up in the woods, just right up here. The kids have a little fort that they made out of sticks and fir branches, and that's where they go. You can see them and hear them. We went for walks in the woods. I had to practically carry Jack through the woods because there was no way that he was walking through all that tree falls and bushes. I did this whole area. There's an old road up back. When I got up to the end, to the top of the hill, I met Daniel. And I said to him, I said, "Did you find them?" He said, "No." He said, "You coming with me?" I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to search this area." Because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think they went into the woods.
Okay, but she just said that Jack won't go into the woods. So, but I mean, obviously, yeah, you'd want to check out. I mean, definitely those areas that they do go to, but if they never go into the woods, he's afraid of it and won't walk in the woods. It just doesn't make sense.
That was my first instinct. So I went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area, right up to the top of the dirt road, came back down here and came back down the side of the road, came back down here and came back up the same spot. I went back into the house. By the time the cops were here, I don't know exactly what time, I didn't take my phone. The cops were here. There was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse, it's over there, was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out. I was crying.
So she says by the time she got back, the police were there, which makes sense because Malaya said she had called them immediately. So like 20 minutes after, getting up, searching immediate area, and 20 minutes by then had passed. She called them while Janie and Daniel are off looking. Janie says she got back and she could hear the police coming or whatever. So that makes sense. However, that totally goes against what Daniel states, because Daniel states that Malaya says, "Should I call 911?" And he says, "F yeah."
Because I blame myself for not getting up that morning to see the kids, Because if I would have got up, this wouldn't have never happened. Okay? That's why I was crying.
We've heard a lot about the patio.
And in my opinion, I just don't believe that. In my opinion, I don't believe that's why she was crying at all. No.
Door.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
And so tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open. The bedroom is back there. Okay,
That far window.
the last window.
Well, the patio door does make a noise. But of course, if you're way down in the bedroom when your kids are up, and you should be up, and don't get me wrong, I do hold Malaya accountable there. Both of Daniel and Malaya for that. You should be up because you know that they could go out the door and you'd want to hear it. So here's another big thing for me in this part. So Janie's anxiety really goes up here. You can tell she starts really breathing heavy, and yeah. So, and the same as when she's saying, this wouldn't have happened if I had have come out when they were out here, and her anxiety is going up. I don't feel like she's crying for the kids, though, in my opinion. But just a thought, being that, again, we have to look at the 3 people on the property, and Janie is a suspect as well. Janie admits she was up puttering around all morning on that property since early. Okay. Did she possibly quietly open up the door and let the kids out and close that door? Because remember, it was said the door was closed, which was strange. That was thought to be strange because and kids don't typically close the door. So is it possible that Janie is the one who let them out of the house for whatever reason, whether it was just to let them out to play and then something happened, or did she lead them out there for some reason? Just a thought, because we do have to look at, and I don't, if you're looking at Janie as a witness, that's not something really that you think of. But when you look at her as a possible suspect, then you think, okay, well, was it her who opened that door and took the kids outside and closed that door back up? So just a thought. And again, speculation and just in my opinion.
So it's the bedroom.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door.
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing.
Okay. So, first of all, we know that's not true because she told Belynda that she was filling potholes. She didn't mention anything about a pool. And second, who puts the pool on look at all the dirt there. There's no grass there at all. So it's not even like the people getting in and out of the pool, because I don't know if she's talking about a big pool, little pool, but whatever. Whoever's getting in and out of the pool has to stand on all that dirt. And then now you're going to have muddy feet, and it just, none of that makes sense. Okay. It just doesn't make sense. No, nobody puts a pool there. No. Like, come on. It just doesn't make sense. And as soon as she said that about the pool anyways, in my opinion, I just thought, I don't believe that. It's the same thing I feel Daniel does. It's the superhero complex. Like, look at me. I'm such a great person. Look at everything I do. I don't believe it. Yeah.
I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything, right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is where the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found, in the mud where I was raking.
I thought there was 2 boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found.
So see how her anxiety is going up again there? Same as when she was talking about the door. She's getting really worked up. There's just something about those areas where her anxiety is going up right through the roof. And how is it possible there was only one footprint found there? Because she, remember, is also saying that Malaya was over there. She's right back to the same area where she's saying Malaya was. So I don't know. That's kind of strange. And only one boot print. So again, bizarre.
Found a way up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lilly&Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to lie. The reason why I wanted you guys to come here and do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And to show people that this is what happened. All the stuff
that's where I'm saying the reporter sounds a little nervous. It's just because Janie's like going right off her rocker there. Well, through the whole interview, really. I would that would give me anxiety just being around her. I just, oh man. And I've worked as a nurse. I've worked with a lot of people. Now, mind you, my tolerance of being able to cope with that stuff since my health conditions is not like it used to be. I used to be able to turn the ignore button on, not so much anymore. But my anxiety, I can't imagine like those poor children and Malaya. Just it's so sad.
Rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property. This place has been searched thoroughly. The well has been checked, the septic tank. All the barns were searched. My RV was searched 3.
So this is the same thing Daniel does. You know, I took a lie detector test. I gave them my phone. Like that's supposed to be some big deal. It's not that's just part of the process. If my grandson was here right now and went missing, I would have no complaints about that. I wouldn't even be talking about it because that's just what has to be done as part of the process. You're not doing them a favor. That's like, it's what needs to be done to locate the missing children. But again, it's
3 times. The trailer was searched.
No
this whole
way.
place was searched.
Go away.
If they want to come back and search again, they're more than welcome.
Well, no, because the kids are not on that property, obviously. So they're going to look elsewhere. So there's no, it just, what she's saying doesn't make sense. They're not on that property. That's obvious. So why are you going on about that and saying they can come back? Like, they know the children are not on that property. They are somewhere else.
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've talked about cars driving down the road and slowing down. What's that been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am. That is me myself. It's not because I'm hiding from anybody. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like my picture taken. I'm just a quiet person that just wants to be left alone, and I mind my own business. I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes, I do.
Well, that's because of your son. That's because of your son. Because honestly, if Daniel hadn't have done what he's been doing, or Daniel isn't doing what he's doing, I would still think the kids possibly could be in the woods, or they were abducted by someone known to the family. That's where my thoughts would be. That's where they would be. But because of Daniel and the lies and the lies and the lies and the inconsistencies, and that changed my mind. That's your own son, Janie. Sorry, that did that. I'm sorry. And now, you also telling lies. So being able to look at things, I mean, that 911 call, and the conversation between Malaya and her mother, and for anybody that didn't see that, go back 2 videos ago, with the title, has receipts in it, and it'll show, um, uh, things that are not truthful that Janie has said and Daniel has said, and it's just can't be true. When you have a screenshot of a phone conversation and you have a screenshot of when 911 was called, the things they're saying cannot be true. And then we have the things that Belynda has stated, like, they are not truthful. And why? Why would you be untruthful in a missing children's case? There's no reason at all to do that.
Because I live on the property.
One reason.
Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie, and my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this.
Okay. Now, again, in my opinion, your heart can't tell you that. I'm sorry. You have the heart of a mother and of a son who is an addict, okay? So that means nothing. Your heart, the heart lies. I'm sorry. Now, if I was in that seat right there and I knew my son did not, because he would never do anything like this, that's exactly what I would say. Absolutely not. My son would never, ever do something like this. You don't know him like myself and other people know him. He would never do anything like this. But that's not what she said.
And I had nothing to do with this.
Look at her anxiety there. It's like, and I know, and of course, in a missing children's case, people are going to have some anxiety. But now, mind you, this is 11 weeks down the road, too. And it's, in my opinion, it's a bit more than just the anxiety that a person would have with this being the missing persons of 2 children. There's something else going on there. And perhaps it's just prior very high anxiety already. There's certain things I'm seeing in Janie's personality that, as a nurse, I'm picking up on stuff that, and I won't go as far as to say certain things. I'll keep them to myself, but it's not good. And it just, that's why I'm saying I feel, wanted to look at her as the third suspect. She is on the property, so it has to be looked at. And is she I certainly don't think she was Mother of the Year, and cycles tend to live on, and I'm sure that's why Daniel, the things that we've learned about his parenting style probably, came from somewhere. So you have to wonder what Janie was like around the children as well. We already heard her say not so nice things about Lily and Jack, actually. So, yeah, it just stands out to me. Yeah.
Oh, if something bad happens, you get like your heart drops. Mine hasn't dropped. Deep down in my heart, I do believe Jack and Lily are alive. It's not because of what people are saying. It's my heart tells me that they are alive.
Now, Belynda's heart doesn't. The grandmother, paternal grandmother of the children, her heart doesn't tell her that. And that's the heart I'm listening to. Okay. Let's go over some comments. So to anybody new that came in, hi. I'm probably going to miss saying hi to you because the comments are backed up. Now, if you, well, no, I guess we won't do that. Now, how do they know the children came? Yeah, so how do they know the children come out that door if no one saw them or heard them? Yeah, exactly. And that's why I'm saying, is it a possibility that Janie's the one who opened that door and let the kids out of there and close that door, whether it was to let them play out in the backyard and then she fell asleep, or for other reasons? Right? Just throwing that out there. Sharon Mark clip swings for Native Girl. Poor Lily. I know she does not speak kindly about Lily at all. And again, that just does not make sense to me about her saying by that. It just drove me nuts. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the fence they're on. She already admitted that's all she hears all the time is Jackie, come on, Jackie, come on. And which is when they're playing out in the backyard. And then she goes, if they were on this side of the fence, I would have heard her saying that. And I'm thinking, no, it would have sounded the same. It wouldn't have sounded any different on the other side of the fence by the swing or the play area. Like, it would sound the same. It's not like they moved 100 feet away. On the other side of the fence isn't 100 feet away. It's just there. It's just a thin piece of wood between them. There's no sound barrier there. It just doesn't make sense. She had a problem with the kids long before all this, in my opinion. I agree, Blair, in my opinion as well. That's when I was saying, can you guys hear me? Because I thought I froze. Are there big cat animals in the area? We have coyote in the area. I think we have lynx, bear, fox, deer. I think that's about it. I don't think I missed any. Some people have spotted, what what do you call them? Like a mountain lions, the odd time. Like actually my husband and I were sure we saw one time. So we called the lands and forests because they want you to report. And the area where we had seen it, I said to her, have you ever had any sightings along this area? It wasn't here. It was out when we were on a drive on the Sunrise Trail, it's called. And it's like back country kind of along the ocean line. And she said, yes, they had. So I thought that was interesting. So some people have had those sightings, but we do not have moose here. The odd one may stray up this way from Cape Breton. Cape Breton has moose, and Newfoundland mostly, but we do not have moose in this area, and we do not have wild boar. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen that discussed in other chats. And we don't have either. We do not have moose, and we do not have wild boar. And usually when a moose does come up this way, I mean, in my lifetime, I've only ever heard of it twice. It's a baby, and they're confused, and they go astray from their mother or whatever. Kimmer, so they noticed a small boot print in the driveway. What about Malay's shoe prints from the day? Exactly. That was my thought as well. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that. But Jamie, you said you just heard the kids. Jane, yeah, right. I know. A lot of what she's saying doesn't make sense, but I'm glad it's there for the RCMP to go over, and I'm sure they're going to pick up on stuff that we're not even picking up on, right? I don't know why Janie's so mad. I know. Or is that just her personality? Well, I think overall we can kind of figure out that her personality, and hi, by the way, Kim, you know, I don't know if you're aware of the private conversations that were leaked. A good channel to go to listen to some of them is Granny's Crime Busters. And there's other channels that has them as well, but that's a really nice channel if you wanted to listen to them. And you can listen to her on there as well, and it's the same tone. And then there was other conversations as well through chats and stuff where she was not very nice, and she said not so nice things about Belynda. Yeah, so they're just overall not very nice people, which I've picked up on quite a bit ago, touched on it in one of my videos where I said they just really seem to kind of have delusional thinking on how the world ticks. And very abrasive and controlling type personalities, in my opinion. I picked up on. At Kimmer, yeah, the one print is odd. Yep. Wouldn't there be multiple? Yeah. 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 And I had some people in my chat in the comments state that as well. Yep. Just 1 second. My hubby walked in. I'm going to tell him I'm on here doing a live. I already know. Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot he's on my channel too. He said, I got a notification. I already know. And Kimmer says, yes, exactly, Mark. Blair Darewood, all the BS he said and calls down the RCMP. Yeah. Well, he's against many groups, you know, women, RCMP, the government, which I might be on board on that one. The indigenous, obviously, to just say the things that he had said. And he states very old terms that are not used anymore. Yeah, so yeah, not a nice person as well. I'm like, I started off trying to be really nice about how I didn't really put him into anything that of my thinking on any of this, because I just right off the bat was like, that is total BS. But I tried to, be nice in my way about saying that. And, was kind of like, well, birds of feathers flock together. So we have to be careful who we're listening to. And I was being very nice about it. And then I just had enough. I was just like, I can't listen to this anymore. This is just terrible. It's terrible because you have a poor grandmother, not to mention Malaya as well, the mom. And here's these people playing games with all of this. And it's just sick. It's sick. And it's not anything that I'm not used to hearing or seeing going on here in this county, where people get away with doing that stuff. And it's sick. And then the way he was speaking towards women, going in certain people's chats and like, just in one in particular, where he was very rude, and it was just no need of it. No need of it. Blair, dare would all the be. Oh, sorry, I just read that. Yeah. Nor I feel like she has guilty knowledge. Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely enough guilty knowledge to go around with them for sure. Even if it does end up, that small chance that they did wander off in the woods and they're there. There's definitely guilty knowledge for all of them to have and should have. At nor who does. I think he's speaking to Janie. Yeah. Law's family, the amount of time he wasted, I know, and distraction he caused is suspect, in my opinion. And I agree. I 100% agree that, to me, why would anybody do that? Like, is there, what was his motive in doing that? Is there a motive there, and what is it? Because I agree, Law's family, there's something really bizarre with that whole thing. And again, it's not something that I've heard. I'm going to touch on some other cases here in Pictou County, because this is not an uncommon thing that happens, where this whole thing is made up and it's believed, and it's just a strange thing. It's just a strange thing. And I just felt like I'm not having it. I'm not having it, because this is foolishness. Like, I look back at certain cases and go, okay, well, that's what, that same thing was done there, and same thing was done there, and same thing was done there. And like, no, it's foolish. Law's family, the amount of time. Oh, I keep hitting the same one again. Sorry. When you are camping in an RV, you can hear the people in the next RV. Exactly. As if you are next to them. Nothing private in an RV or a trailer. Absolutely not. I agree. Yeah. Linda, they all lied. Even Mom. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why is she lying? Why is she lying? Like, is Mom covering for Son, or is Son covering for Mom? Because they're both lying. They are both lying. And that's not in my opinion. That's with proof, with receipts. So I can say that without saying in my opinion, because if you go back and look at my video that I had did with the receipts, you will see, like, it's a fact. And if you go to It's a Crime and Shame, and to Sunny's video, and I'll put it in the description after this video, I'll go back in. And I gave you the timestamps there, and listen to Belynda. Like, Belynda will give you the receipts. It's a conversation she had with her. And it's up to you if you want to believe Belynda or not. I 100% believe her. Kim or Janie seems nervous in this interview for sure. Yeah, and there's certain areas where she's talking where you can see it becomes even worse, right? In my opinion. Yeah. Law's family, make it make sense. Yeah, you can't cause you can't because it's rehearsed lies. Yeah. Hi, Eliza. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming back. I heard it. It's much louder than my patio door. Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it. Yeah, I can see. I can see you might not hear it down at the end of the trailer. I mean, in those trailers, I lived in a trailer like that years ago. Before we had our modular home, and um, you know, I'm pretty sure you'd be able to hear that in the bedroom because it was same setup in those trailers. The bedrooms, there's a bedroom always down at the end of that hall. I think you would hear that, and there would be some type of, maybe even a vibration, right? Yeah. But whether they could hear it or not, they should have been up out of bed. The kids are up, they should have been up out of that bed. But like I said, that makes me wonder what, possibly, if they truly didn't hear that door, if Janie quietly opened that door and that's how the kids were let out, either outside to play or let outside for some reason. And then she quietly closed it back up, because the thing with those doors too, and you can notice it when the reporter opens it and closes it, when they close, they have a little bit of a pull on the end, almost like a magnet's pulling it. And I would think with a child doing that, it would make that thump and then that kind of bounce. But if an adult was doing it, they would know to control that, right? And to be careful with it. All in my opinion and speculation. In text to Belynda, Malaya says they noticed the children missing, at 9:40, and they had been missing for 20 minutes. Well, what she said was, she said that it's two conversations. She said to Belynda that they had been missing since 9:40. And then she said to, because remember we talked about this on my other live, because that adds up to 10 o'clock, right? So which to me shows that Malaya is, what she's stating is true, because that's fact, and we can see the 911 call. So in text to Belynda, she said they've been missing since 9:40. So we can take that as that's when they get up out of bed and notice the kids missing. We don't know exactly if they went missing at 9:40 right on the dot, but that's what they're stating, right? That they noticed. And when Janie asked her how long have they been missing, she said 20 minutes. So that's two different conversations. So that adds up to 10 o'clock. And she says she called 911 immediately. So in my opinion, because my son went missing out of the house before, and I had searched the whole house, the closets, under the beds, and you're going pretty quick doing that because you want to get to the next step if he's not in the house. And then I got outside and started looking around the property, and and then when I got to the back of the property, I could hear him crying, and he was a few houses up. Now, I could say that probably took maybe 15 minutes. They would have more areas to look than I did, because my property was much smaller and didn't have huts and stuff on it for the kids. So, so after the immediate area, I could see that possibly 20 minutes went by, and then she calls 911, which would be around 10 o'clock, and her call shows 10:01. So that all adds up. Yeah. And for anybody that again, that's in the receipts that I had shown in that video that I'm talking about 2 videos ago. Linda, they all lied and they all know where them children are, in my opinion. Mom knows, also. Yeah, possible. It's possible. We can all have our, in my opinions, right? In my opinion, I feel like Malaya was following something that she thought was truth until certain things came out, like the blanket, and then the whole discussion about rugs. Because for anybody, if you don't know, that there were rugs also found, or not found, I'm sorry, but admitted that Daniel with methane. So, there's that as well. Yeah. And I think something happened. There's something around that, the debrief that took place that day, and that's the day they found the blanket. And we can confirm now, I have been saying on my channel that the blanket was found on the 1st, because I was going by the people who found the blanket and said it was the 1st. But Daniel's getting people so mixed up, because he's the one who kept pushing that narrative. It was found on the 2nd. It was found on the 2nd. It wasn't found on the 2nd. So again, there's another lie. Why is he saying that? He's trying to say that Malaya or her family, or somebody on that side planted this stuff, planted the blanket. So it sounds better if you say it was found on the 2nd, because that gives them time to plant it, right? When it wasn't. It was found on the 1st. And so, I mean, that just, again, that doesn't make sense that, that would even happen. They did not put that blanket there. So that just blows that whole thing out of the water, that lie too, that he's trying to spread. And I had corrected that, or stated that on here anyways. I had went with the 1st. Yeah. So, I guess we differ a little bit on that, but that's, we all have our thoughts, and none of us know. None of us know when it comes right down to it. We just want to understand for Lily and Jack what took place here, support Belynda, let her know we're keeping the story alive. For Malaya and her family as well. And I say Malaya because I don't feel that, Malaya really had a nefarious part in what took place here. Besides the fact that if they did get outside and, if they were up, she should have been up, and she should have been knowing what was going on with the kids, right? And maybe Daniel locked the door. Oh, you mean after the kids got out, he might have locked the door and they couldn't get back in? Never thought of that. I never thought of that. If that's what you mean, that's an interesting point or thought. Ginger, I still can't comprehend why Jack would go out and play in the cold with no shirt on. I know, but you know what? Now in the latest update, well, no, they didn't say a shirt, did they? They just said pants, jogging pants. Black jogging pants, yeah. Yeah, it started out diaper. Oh my God, I can remember getting up through the night, because I get up through the night with some pain and that, and I'm kind of up for a little bit till I fall back asleep. And every time I get up, that's all I could think about was this baby in a diaper and his sister with just a shirt and pants on, but him just in a diaper and in the rubber boots. And my little fella, he would not give up his rubber boots when he was little. I mean, it was terrible. You couldn't even get them off his feet for him to go to bed. Now he was like I think he was like between 2 and 3. And oh my God, he loved those things. And he would take a flip attack. So I'd have to let him go to bed. Now, this is after he wore them all day and his feet were stinking like heck. So I would get them off long enough to get them washed, and then he'd be right back into them. So then I had to let him go to bed with them on because he would take such a flip attack. He was so attached to them. And then I have to go in and try to sneak them off his feet while he was sleeping, and he'd wake back up and he'd be grabbing them as I was trying to take them off his feet. I eventually would get them off once he went into a real deep sleep, but like I just kept picturing him because it was summertime and he just had his diaper on, running around the house with these rubber boots on. And that's what I pictured with Jack. Like, it's just sad. It's just heartbreaking. And I agree, Ginger. Like, even I get jackets. Kids, you have to remind them to put their jackets on, right? Like, we all know when you have kids, you got to keep reminding them, how many times do they come home from school without their brand new jacket that you end up not even seeing anymore and have to buy them a new one? But yeah, to not put a shirt on, that's yeah. Because most kids know you put your pants and your shirt on when you're going outside and it's chilly outside, right? Yeah, so that's odd. Kimmer, I know the yard is junky, yeah, but I don't see what could have happened outside to hurt them, outside of lost in the woods. Well, there was a lot more stuff out there than what's on that property now. They cleaned it up quite a bit. Probably due to CPS and Daniel having to follow certain things to prove himself. And his own cousin stated that he's doing everything they're asking him to prove himself. He's following everything they're asking. So the property would certainly be one of the things. So, yeah. So heavens knows what was there before or what's there that we can't see. Those are things we can see in certain pictures, right? There could be a bottle of chemicals out there, or like, who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, it would be a mud pool, I know. I mean, like, come on, right? Like, nobody's putting a pool there. Like, come on. Like, my goodness, you may as well just shovel some dirt in the pool when you're done putting it up, because we all know how that works. What's going to happen. I mean, that even happens when it's on the grass. It gets dirty like that. But the good thing is, with just the little kiddie pools, you can dump them and put the fresh water in, clean it out. Sorry, can't, not can. I probably read can't anyways. In Texas, Emily said they noticed the children missing at 9:40, and they, his shirt. Yeah, I think I read it that way anyways. I still can't comprehend why Jack would go out and play in the cold with no shirt on. Oh, I don't know what one you're referring to, but I probably read it right anyways. Narcissistic traits. Yeah, the two of them, right? So behavior, or personality disorders, right, which can be, I mean, there's there's personality disorder traits going on there for sure, right, which includes it all connects, right, the narcissistic trait, the personality disorder, and then you get further into it with sociopath and psychopath, and not saying that any of these folks are, they could be though, but yeah, definitely a trait there. in my opinion. There is a picture going around that shows the swing set with no swings before the kids went missing. Oh, is that right? I didn't see that. My allergies are starting to bug me. My nose is getting itchy. I didn't see that. I wonder what channel that's on. Law's Family. We did a comprehension, and it looks like the ropes on the swing have been replaced. Oh, I was wondering that too. Actually, that was one of the things I meant to stop on. Yeah, I thought so too, that those swings, the ropes look new. Now she said she did that all herself. She put that up, and of course she had to say that, right? Like, I did this. Again, it's the Daniel thing, right? But yeah, like, that looks like brand new rope. So now whether she just did that before the kids went missing or it was done after, who knows, right? Yeah, and it doesn't look like the really good thick rope that you normally see on those swings. And then, like, I see the duct tape on it, but I mean, I'm assuming I hope for because if the other kids go there, that she tied the knot because you're supposed to tie the knot, right? So I hope she tied the knot and then put the duct tape around it, not just duct tape. I hope she's just securing the knot with the duct tape. Yeah, but it does look like brand new rope, and it just looks like the cheap kind. Like, here you can actually get rope like that at the dollar store. I don't know if you can get it that long. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think you can, because my husband would get the dog's rope there, and it was that kind of rope. But usually on the swings, you see the thicker, bigger, more sturdy rope. Where everything took place. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Janie, they came here 3 times and they did this and that and this. Okay. Well, yeah, they're going to. So just let them do what they need to do, and actually be thankful that they're being so thorough, because that means once they rule your property out, they're going to be thorough in all the other areas that they have to as well. I mean, my God, I would never be upset over that. I'd be so thankful to see how thorough they're being. Raking away boot prints. You missed one, Janie. Eliza, I never thought of that. Good thinking. You guys come up with some good thoughts. Yes. In our opinions, just remember, IMO. Mom called school at 6:18. Yep. To let school know. Lily had a cough, in my opinion. They were gone before she made a call to school, and she was up to call school. Why didn't she stay up with her sick child? Nonsense. Yeah, well, I agree about the sick child thing and not staying up, and yeah. The 6:18, possible, like, we don't know. But the thing that gets me about that is that she also called them out of school the day before at the same time as well. And we know that they weren't missing them because they were seen on CCTV. So because of that, I can't solely look at that and connect it to, oh, they must have been gone at that time. But I hear what you're saying. And it's all speculation and possibilities, right? We just don't know. That is a great thought, Janie being the one. Dang, I have to agree. I said the same thing about the footprint, just one. Yeah, I think a lot of us are thinking that. Not possible unless you hop everywhere you go. Yeah, and I like what Eliza said there too, raking away boot prints. You missed one, Janie. Yeah, and again, this is all in our opinions, remember, and just speculation. Yeah. Well, and I'm just saying there's 3 people on the property. That's 3 suspects, right? Not just Malaya and Daniel. We got to look at Janie as well. I'm sure our CMP are. Bonjour, mes amis du Canada. Bonjour. Je n'ai pas parlez-vous français? Eliza, the nervous system would be constantly stimulated around these people. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And so picture 2 kids, because kids energy and their behavior is fed off of what they're around, right? Like there's so much there that just connects the dots to what you're seeing going on and those bells going off, right? And I've always felt that with many children anyways, that end up, I know there's really kids who are autistic and there's kids who have ADHD, but I also believe there's many who are incorrectly diagnosed because of other stuff going on. They tried to diagnose my son as ADHD, and I knew it wasn't ADHD. I knew that it was because his father and I were being separated, and it was having an effect on my children, and that it was affecting him in a way that his attention, was off because of it. Children are no different than adults when they have stressful things going on in their lives. It affects them. So I knew he didn't have ADHD, and there was no way they were putting him on medication and doing all that stuff. But what I did do was put him in a little group of, it was like a group of children. It was a little support group of children, peers, the same age group of kids who also had their parents who were separated, divorced, and stuff like that. And that really helped him and my other son, both of them. Yeah. Lost family. Yeah. Yep. Okay. You could say that about a lot of things, right? In this case. Chai Mum, why is it when Janie says they're being accused of murdering the kids and burying them on the property, she doesn't deny anything except that they have searched the property? Yeah, good question, right? Good question. And why go on channels and listen to that stuff? I mean, I wouldn't listen to that stuff. I talk about facts and things that receipts that can prove certain things that I see that just seem strange to me. But I would never say, she murdered the kids, Daniel murdered the kids, Malaya murdered the kids, and they must, and they, or they buried them on that. Like, I wouldn't even say, I don't say that stuff. And I don't think many of the channels that, any of us that are touching on this case have said that. So it's probably people from here in the county that are saying it on the junky Facebook sites. But just stay off them. Stay off those sites, Janie. They're poison. At Linda, Malaya told Belynda she didn't see the children that morning. That's right. Yeah, the last time she saw them was when she put them to bed, allegedly. Yeah. And when RCMP put the notice out on the 3rd, the intrusive alert, and I showed you guys the receipt for that. That's also in my video I did about receipts for anybody that didn't watch that. I think it's really important to watch that video to get an understanding of the untruthfulness of, if that's a word, of Janie and Daniel. And because, Daniel can say it till the cows come home that the kids were last seen on 2nd and he saw Lily popping in and out of the bedroom. Well, that's not what our CMP are saying. And in that alert that came out on the 3rd, it clearly says May 1st. And that was before they had confirmation on the videotape that they were seen CCTV-wise. But then again, they confirmed at CCTV that they did see the children on the video. So now, that is confirmed. They were last seen on the 1st, and that's on CCTV. At Laws, where can we see the pic? Yeah, I didn't see that or hear about that. It's on the uncensored chat of Facebook. Oh, okay. See, I don't go on there because I never do the Facebook thing too much. Like sometimes I'll see I seen a picture come up of my sister the other day that was really nice, and I've always told her she has the most beautiful eyes, so I told her again. But just something like that, and that's very rare. Linda, why didn't she see them? She was up at 6 a.m. Why didn't she hear them? Mom was the one who called school, and she had to go down on road to get service. She was awake at 6 a.m. All lied. Yeah, well, she should have checked on them for sure. Yeah, she should have checked on them. Yeah. And now whether they were up at 6 in the morning, I don't know. Who knows, right? She says they went to bed at 8 o'clock, so that's a long sleep. But kids kids do sleep longer though because they go, 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 go. But that's a long sleep, and that's a long time to see your kids when they're not that's a long time not to see your kids when they're not feeling well. Like, yeah. And that's why I say, like, definitely guilty of some neglect, 100%. Like, definitely. Now, what anybody else is guilty of, we don't know, right? For all 3 of them, we have no idea. We can only speculate and notice certain things that don't make sense and, prove certain facts with facts, right? With receipts. Receipts are facts. Yeah. On Justin's channel last night, he played the clip from the 911 call, and it says it was at 8 a.m. The first call came in. No, I was listening to that with Justin. It didn't say that it came in at 8 a.m. It said that what they said was, at first there was a mix-up because they thought that the last time, because they correct it in other calls, and you can actually go to Plunder or Crime Time lines to listen to those, and it's actually corrected that they thought that the call come in at 8 a.m. No, the parents were saying that the last time that they had heard, Malaya had said the last time she had heard them was between 8 and 8:30. So they, of course, would have to go with the 8 o'clock time, the earlier time. But, and then that was corrected later that no, that they were, okay, I'm getting confused there. She had stated, yeah, that they were last heard between 8 and 8:30 is what was, yeah, that's not when the call come into 911. Yeah, the call clearly was at 10 o'clock because there's if you watch my video, like I said 2 videos ago, you'll see that the evidence is there that it was 10:01. But when Malaya called 911, she had stated that the last time she had heard the children was between 8 and 8:30. And then there was a bit of a mix up there on the radio with something I can't that's what I'm getting confused on, but they did make a mistake there with a time, something about a time. Um Oh, okay, we're way past that. Why didn't they see the yeah. I wonder if the kids snuck out in the night. Janie noticed the door was open in the AM when she got up. They found the kids in the woods, but passed away from hypothermia. It's a possibility because, I mean, it was cold. And if he just had a diaper on, I mean, even just having shirt and pants on. But I know kids have been out in colder weather, though, and Uh, yeah, it's hard to say. Oh, and it was so damp and wet too and windy. It was horrible. Like it was literally it was a storm. And it's weird last year when we had a lady go missing here who's yet to be recovered or located. The weather was the same too during that period. It was stormy, wet, and cold. It has struck me kind of funny when she said, "I have nothing to do with this." What is she referring to? I know, and the anxiety going through the roof, right, when she sang it. Um, yeah, there's just something that doesn't sit well with me at all about any of that, for sure. In my opinion, if there was an accident, there is zero reason to hide the kids and lie. That's true, right? That's true. Well, Meadow, because you already have CPS knocking at your door. And not saying I would do this because I wouldn't. I've never had to deal with CPS either. So, but let's, just think about that. If you had CPS knocking at your door and then something like that happens, and now they're probably going to take Meadow away too. A person in those circumstances, what would they be capable of doing, right, to prevent that? Just a thought. Marlene ring, that's a common narcissistic look. I know, I agree 100%. That's why I said I'm seeing some things that I've seen before. And yeah, Janie knows just what happened that morning. So does the other 3. Just my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe kids got into the rugs. That's another possibility. And they sent them away. Yeah. Another possibility because we know there's rugs there. With this sounds to me like a known situation. Yeah. Debbie, hi Debbie. Jay's phone calls with her brother are awfully close in the time to other events. Yup. Happening that morning. Missed call about the time the kids were called out from school. Yep. And then the call at 8:48. I know. Yeah, there's just something very, very strange about it all, isn't there? Yeah, I know. And like she was awake and puttering around all morning. But all of a sudden during that period when the kids go missing, Janie dozed off to sleep. And Malaya was up too. Well, by the sounds of it, all three of them were. But Malaya says she went and laid back down at 8. Yeah. Belynda has a genuine heart, 100%. That's the difference. I know. Yeah. Yeah. And that is the true grandmother of those children, right? And I'm sure Cindy, the maternal grandmother, Malaya's mother, she's probably feeling some instincts there as well, right? As the maternal grandmother. Blood is thicker than water. Yipper. And 100% in that family for sure. That's why I keep doing the joke going, the family. If you're my age, you know what that refers to. Old Italian movies. What time did Malaya call the school to say they won't be going? Oh, okay, so I think somebody, or we said that back there. It was 6:17 on one day, 6:18 on the other day. Because she had called right on Wednesday and Thursday. Or sorry, Thursday and Friday, yeah. It's a known fact you never follow your heart. Yep, it can lie. Exactly. Exactly what I said. Follow your gut feeling. It don't lie. Yep, and that is true. But a mother's not going to follow the gut. So I'll just skip through these quick and just kind of read some here and there. Because we're at the 2-hour mark. Wow, the more I listen, the more it makes sense. That's interesting, is no one has looked at her as one. Okay, I think I already read that. So we're way down here. Janie, being a possible person of interest, might explain why she can't see her grandchildren, allegedly. I know, Ginger, I thought the same thing, right? Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yep, because why give her such a hard time of not having visitation with oh my god. When somebody's there, right? With CPS there. I can't remember what they're called, sorry. Yeah, like why not give her that? Like why was that even taken away? Like there's something there. There's something there with that, for sure. I thought the same thing. Blanket bigotry, yep, that's Darewood. When a man deflects serious concerns about missing children by mocking women, insulting grieving families, members, and dodging accountability, yeah, and let's not forget accusing the Indigenous First Nations community. That speaks volumes, in my opinion. 100%. I agree. I think people miss that the mother is First Nations. Yep. Often their perspective and way of expressing is different. 100% agree. Scarlett, thank you for being here. Therefore, the people who analyze can be that much more off. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah. And I mean, that's why they have the RCMP that police the reservations, right? Because they are supposed to be trained to have more of an understanding. Now, here in our county, typically, when there's certain things going on, there is an RCMP, unless he's retired, because he's been at it for a while, who is Indigenous, and even if he's off or whatever, they'll call him in to make sure that they have that understanding there and of the culture, and they're trying to do the whole CPS thing on the reserve and a healthcare center on the reserve. So, to assist with things like that, because that's the only way you can help people is to have an understanding. Now with the indigenous, they have more of a tendency to have diabetes, to deal with um, uh, abuse more than other cultures, and like there's certain things there, right, that people need to know. Darewood came into Granny's and called us a bunch of idiots. I know, when I said that earlier about him going into one of the that's the channel I was talking about. Because I usually watch her in the morning, and I saw that and I was so disgusted. I was like, you just like, I mean, if you just, the lowest could not already be your low, you just sunk below that. Like, if I'm saying that, if that makes any sense, just, I mean, come on. Like, how disgusting. Oh my gosh. He left a comment in my comments. As far as I know, I'm the last channel I'm aware of that he's come into, but he didn't catch the live. So he went on the comments and said something nasty, and I was like, "Yes," because I was hoping he would leave a comment so I could block him. Because I'd rather do it that way than have him come into the chat, and have to deal with him in the chat, and other people have to deal with that. So, I was quite happy, because I was checking and checking, and then finally I saw it. Now I haven't heard of him going on into any other channels. I think I was the last one because he's probably blocked on all the others. But yeah, not a very nice person. I started zoning Darewood out, yeah, as soon as I realized he talks compulsively and why can't I say that word? Surcautiously. Later on, I'm gonna go, oh my god, I know what that word is. It's like the other day when Drippy was here and said psychopathy, and I could not get that word out of my mouth because, in my mind, I kept thinking, to me, Daniel has traits as with sociopath. So when what wanted to come out of my mouth was sociopath, and I couldn't get psychopathy out. Exactly, Eliza. Maybe they'll get him for obstruction. I know. I hope so too, because definitely, definitely. And that more of that needs to go on when this stuff happens in this county, with things like this, because as I said, it's not the first time. And yeah, that's what needs to happen. If a person did not do something like cause the missing, but they were doing things they should or been neglectful, they may try to correct the issue by taking longer to look to avoid blame. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Scarlett. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Daniel and his mom seem off. Oh, indeed. Indeed, they do. Yeah, there's the whole family seems off. Well, we haven't heard from Justin, but the whole family, yeah, I think their thinking is very delusional thinking. Kristen, intent needs to be proven for obstruction. Well, and that's what we're saying. Somebody had said back there, is there some kind of intent there? Like, what is going on? What's his motive? Like, I had wondered, was it the 150,000? But I don't know how long he was conversing with Sonny privately before all that. But like like, it seemed to me, because I don't know, there was some kind of family get together or something like that, and this was before the 150,000 had come out. And then all of a sudden, and I had heard about it around here that they were gonna be offering a $150,000 reward. And then all of a sudden, he come out, I think it was a couple days, very, very soon before that reward had come out, prior to, I mean. And I was like, okay, did he hear about that reward too? Because I heard about it, and he was with his family members. Did he hear about it? And is that some kind of motive for him to, like, I don't even know if that makes sense. I guess I was just trying to figure out, like, what is his deal? Um, and like I said the other day when it was being discussed about him, when his cousin, who is Malaya's grandmother, reached out to him to ask for help to get Malaya and the kids out of there, because Malaya, there was the marks on Jack and stuff, um, allegedly, okay. Um, and he said, he doesn't get mixed up in that stuff. And I'm like, okay, but you took all this time and energy to get mixed up with Daniel and making up all these stories and lies and going along with all this crap and putting it out there and trying to prove that Daniel's this nice guy and he wouldn't hurt a flea and blah, blah, gag, blah. So why couldn't you have put that energy into getting your cousin's granddaughter out of a horrible relationship with her 3 children, right? It's called survival. It's helping her and her children survive. Like, why couldn't you do that? But you could put the energy into the whole Daniel thing. It just disgusts me. Distractions, yep. Yep. In Canada, they have obstruction or mischief charges they could use. Longest sentence could be 10 years in jail. Well, he should be thinking about that. 100 years ago, it'd be liquor and morphine for these kids. I know. Yep. Now look like, yep, the big F, methane. I know. Yep. It's terrible. Sharon, why can't Mom and Daniel be arrested for neglect and abuse? I know, I wonder that myself. Yeah, because would they get more out of them if they did that? More information, I mean, like, but I think a lot of us are wondering why. Because if anything, it's certainly, there's neglect there, right? Certain, in my opinion. Donna, maybe there was also a 4th person on the property at the time. In your opinion? Yeah, well, apparently it was said that Justin was there, but then it was corrected that he wasn't there. And I reread how that article was written, and it actually does sound like it might have been a mistake, because, or it could be a mistake. It could be taken either way when you read that article, that they were saying Janie lived on the property. Or it also sounds like you could take it as they both lived on the property, because they were talking about something, that, I don't know if they said, the day that they were there doing interviews, that the brother Justin and Janie were also there on the property. Or Janie, who also lives on the property. But then it kind of got taken as that meant both of them lived on the property, not just Janie. And it can be taken both ways. So hard to say if he was there or not, or if there was anybody else there, right? Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. You can always hear sliding glass door sounds like better WD. Oh, yeah, WD-40, yeah. You can always hear sliding glass doors. Sounds like better WD-40. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure they probably oiled those doors after that, maybe. Possibly. Speculating, who knows? Good question, Sharon Parker. And that question was, why can't Mom and Dad? Yeah, I agree too. Yep. Krista, good way to get them talking. Yep, exactly. Oh my, I'm never going to get caught up, guys. But I know you guys have lots and lots of good questions and comments there. But I know you're helping each other out too and chatting with each other. And if I missed anybody, like I see Bridget Jones there. Bridget Jones, thanks for being here. No, seriously, thanks for being here. Thanks to everyone. Mariska, thank you for being here. I'm just seeing some new names. Osprey, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back. I'm just going to go through, and if I miss saying hi to anybody that I see, and if I don't see your name and I miss you, it's not intentional. Just another human. Hi. Tracy, hi. Explore Core, hi. Tracy. Krista. Okay, I said hi to you. I think I said hi to everyone. Virginia Wolf, hi. Thank you for being here. I love the names you guys have chosen. Mary Dalmatian, hi. Thank you for being here. Charmaine, hi. Thank you for being here. I'm so late. Love your content. The truth will come out. Charmaine is from It's a Crime and Shame, guys, that I had mentioned a few times here. Then I will put it in the, once I'm done here, I go back in and I'll add it in the description. So, yeah. So Charmaine, Sunny, and Kent, and they've all been keeping us in touch with everything going on. They're very supportive to Belynda. It's so awesome to see. You know, yeah. All right. I don't think I think if I did miss anybody saying hi to anybody, I'm very sorry. It's just that there's so many comments there, and Mark told me how to make people mods, so I am going to do that, and they will start helping me with keeping up with some of it. And thank you everyone for being here. He was there but did not live there. Justin, yeah. Earl was also there that morning, all to help search. Yeah. Yeah. Virginia, hi. Thank you. I keep hoping for new information on this case. Yep. Anything new that comes out or any dots that we can connect, like myself here, It's a Crime and Shame, Dolly Vision, Granny's Crime Busters is excellent. Justin on Clutch Them Pearls. I actually list all those channels in my description as well. I'll put like 4 more information on this case, because we're all keeping up with it and we're all trying to connect some dots. Any facts we have, we'll let you know. So yeah. Thanks, Ginger. And thanks for being here. If you need any advice for using YouTube, give Granny an email. She would love to help you. Oh my God, yeah, that would be nice. I know Sunny will help me. Well, Sunny will try to help me. I know she will. White Shed Recordings. Hi, thank you for being here. I heard Malaya's vehicle was towed. Yeah, because she had left, and she had left so quick with whatever happened there that day. I mean, yeah, she even left her vehicle behind. Was this because it was broken down or evidence, perhaps? No, it was because she left it there. Yeah, but I'm sure that the police did go through vehicles. I'm sure they did, because that would be part of the process, I would hope. Yep. So, everybody, I am going to have to bid you a goodbye. We're at 2 hours and Sandra's just new coming in, so we'll read this one. Hi, Sandra. Well, at least Belynda tells the truth. Exactly. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Of Cody's problems, yes. She's very transparent. She is very open and honest. And I mean, addictions, anybody can have addictions. I'm a nurse. I've never had addictions, but there's, high incidences of nurses and doctors. We're up there in the list of individuals who is, like probably the top 3 groups with addictions. So anybody can. Nobody is immune to it. Doesn't matter who you are. And there's nothing wrong with talking about it. Hiding it doesn't help. And she's very upfront. Yep. Janie is false. I'm in UK, yet I cry for these missing children. I know. I don't believe it was the mom involved. I don't either. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe if you wish. Don't leave until you see the outro, because it's a little bit of a happiness on your way out the door after talking about topics, like this that are hard to talk about. So again, thanks for coming. Lots of love, lots of positive vibes, and take care. Bye, everyone.